Well, a good morning to you. Welcome to Sunday Best. We are on KTN and BTV. Thank you very much for giving us an opportunity to engage, to have a conversation, to be blessed together, to fellowship together. We don't take that for granted. Asante sana, karibu. My name is Anthony Ndiema. Today we go back, talk about politics. We are in that year. A few days ago, the civil servants, you know, those who are as aspirants, had to resign so that they get into the murky, water so that they can actually get to campaign and so on. And the days are going so fast, month after the other. Some people have already shown signs of fatigue. Others are already, gaining more confidence. It's becoming a bit more volatile, and it's a conversation that we need to have, especially for us as Christians, as believers. We need to talk about this and get to know where are we and what do we need to do at a time like this. So karibu sana. We are the Cascadia Garden Apartments, the Two Rivers Mall. Check it out. Simple, beautiful. You'll definitely love it. All right. So today I have two amazing gentlemen who are going to help us break this down into very important pieces for you to understand. I have my brother who's an advocate of the High Court, but he's also an aspirant, a member of parliament, aspirant for Kuresoi North. Karibu sana.
Asante.
You well?
Kabisa.
Hivi unataka kuwa MP?
Yes. Yes.
All right. I'll come to that. I had a conversation a few days ago with Rafton, and I'll share something. Okay. And I don't know if you'll agree or disagree. So we'll get there in a bit. Yes. And of course we have the Reverend Edward Furi, who's joined us today. He's a minister of the gospel with PCE. He's a theologian. He's a TV presenter as well, a host, and he also it's called a columnist. He writes every Sunday on the Standard. And it's been very consistent. Full page. Hey. There's a day we were tulikuwa na wewe side to side.
Yeah, that was a big day.
It was a big day. So karibu sana, Rev. It's also good to have you.
I'm happy to be here.
All right. So let's start here.
Yes.
My brother.
Yes.
Juicy, I had a conversation with Rafton. So he told me he is very tired. I asked him why. Because of the campaigns?
Yes.
He said, not even because of moving around. I am so tired.
Yes.
Because everywhere I go, people are asking for money.
Yes.
People ask, he said a few instances. Says, one of the instances he's being called by the young people, say, come, kuja usalimie vijana. Akifika huko, they tell him tuko na project ya car wash. Yes. Tumenunua the tank, hatuna machine. Goes elsewhere, mtoto wangu, he's been stranded, we need school fees. Mheshimiwa, tunaomba uchangie, we need 35,000.
Yes.
Everywhere he goes, people are not asking him about what is your manifesto? What are you going to do for us?
Yes.
But they want money. Is it the same situation you're going through?
All over Kenya, and I think that has been it from, I think, the time we gained independent. I think from the beginning there is something that we did wrong, that only the people with money and people who are loaded are the people who are going for this political seat. So you go to campaign just the same, the way Rafton is telling you.
Yes.
People do not want to listen to what you want to offer or what you have to offer.
Right.
They are only concerned with what you're coming with. I think even Rafton case is better if he's only being called by organized people, groups and people telling them that we need 35,000.
Yeah.
If you start your journey from here going to Kuresoi North, just by the entry of the constituency, you'll find guys and people waiting for you. They know your car, they know everything about you. So by just seeing you, they expect that you give them money.
Right.
And as I am saying, they are not concerned of what you have to offer. Their only concern is how much we are going to get from him. Maybe at the end of it all, these people will not even vote for you. So that is where we are. That is Kenya for you.
Right.
Yes.
Where is the challenge, Rev? You're not an aspirant?
But I'm a citizen.
You're a
and
citizen.
I'm really concerned.
Yeah.
And sometimes we ask ourselves, how does a beautiful Kenya look like? You know, because we all have hope. And you see, like now the elections time also brings the citizenry to another point of hope, hoping that things will change, hoping that after the next maybe 7 months or so, we will have a different Kenya. I ask myself, what is the basis of that hope? Well, for those who have faith in God, you know, maybe we can say that there's that hope. But looking on the ground at the people is very difficult to imagine that hope. Actually, sometimes we are afraid that we may lose what we have. You look at the people who are aspiring and who want to lead, and you fear that we might actually regress. Now, coming to the challenge of my brother Mwangi, Mheshimiwa Mwangi, who is vying for Kuresoi, I think that this is what we say about the Mwananchi.
Right.
Yeah? That's what we say about Wanjiko. That Wanjiko is asking for money and all that. But the leaders, aspirants themselves, they don't tell us what money they exchange in their own ranks to buy particular positions,
Right.
or to position themselves for a nomination. You get, beyond what they give to the Monanchi is really small, 150 bob and all that. But what do they give within the chain?
There's a lot going on.
Exactly.
Right,
So in terms of culture
Yes.
and money and buying,
like that.
it is not just within the citizenry. You know, it's not just Wanjiko who wants. It's a culture that is coming, you know, from within the ranks. In fact, we can say Wanjiko is the least expensive. You know, you see, with that, then we ask ourselves, what is the problem? You know.
Right.
And because that is a problem, because then the leadership goes to the highest bidder, you know, and the highest bidder would most likely be the most corrupt as well.
Yes,
you get. But that said, my brother Ndiema, there are few cases whereby people who did not have money have triumphed.
Right.
I may not get the narrative very well or remember very well, but there are some people who were known by their communities for other reasons. Like there's a gentleman, I think from Meru or someplace, who was cutting across ridges and all that. And people voted for him. And what they were saying is that he has done this to our children.
That's right.
He has done these sacrifices. And I think when even became a member of parliament, he was bought for the car by the president.
Right.
But that was the end of narrative.
It was the
It was the end of that narrative.
Yeah.
You know why? Because no one wants that.
Unfortunately.
No one wants that.
Yes.
Because the majority of the people don't have that kind of connection with people. So they cannot encourage that kind of narrative. You know?
Yes.
No, we have to dwarf you. You have become one of us, initiated into this. Oh, it got you here. Okay, fine. You know? But because that challenges the status.
Right.
When a leader who has spent millions to acquire their position sees one for whom it costs nothing. I mean, you're not going to cheer that person. You know, you almost feel like it's a vice. You know, you feel like you did what was wrong. You took a shortcut, but really, that is the Kenya we want.
That's true.
Sure.
You see,
That's
so it's
true.
complicated, but
That's
a few
right.
exemptions.
Let's come to the conversation of church. We've had previous conversations talking about church and politics. We have had conferences. Where are we now? And the desire has been that we have people who have a fear for God getting into positions, not necessarily the presidential candidate, but also from the MCA to the member of parliaments and senators and governors and so on. And so, Rev, you please help us.
Okay. Well, I'm getting pretty emotional when I think about this country, and especially when I think about the hope that the people have,
Right.
and how we have, without feeling, with no feelings whatsoever, just trumped over their hopes. But I think the good person to tell us the impact of the church is the aspirant himself.
Right.
How is the church in coming in play in terms of his plan, in terms of his goals, in terms of, I think I could say about the church.
We'll come back to you on the...
Yeah, you come back to me, but I think...
We'll talk about the church.
Yeah. But I think he would tell us...
Okay, let's do
because
this.
if the church, if he feels nothing about the church, then I have nothing to talk about.
Wow, I like that.
Thank you so much. It is sad, very sad, the way the church is being used today.
I told you.
By the politicians.
I was fearing it. I was afraid of this. I can say all rosy things, but this is a real test.
Yes,
That's true.
I am very afraid that we as the body of Christ can be able to be used in such a manner that we are being used today. The church is such an important organization in this country and everywhere in the world. And you see what has been happening from the time people started campaigning. There are those who started earlier, there are those who are starting now. And what has been happening, the concentration has gone so much into the church. And not to ask the church of the direction the country should take, but to go and give the church the direction the people have in their mind, or the politicians have in their mind. Where I sit as a saved Christian, and Rev is my reverend.
Right.
Where I sit as a saved Christian, and I love what the Presbyterian Church did, that if you have to do any politics, please do it outside the gate, not within the confinements of the church. Because what is happening is that today we will get this person, come, donate some amount of money to the church, but they will, in the church, they will start abusing each other in the church. They will tell us this person looked like this, the other person looked like this, and we are there as Christians, clapping our hands and motivating this person to continue with that narrative. So where I sit, and I pray to God that we will get to a point that if the church says there is a person we are supporting, that person wins the election. Because the church, where the church sits, has the mandate and the power to be able to, do I say to
influence?
Yes, to influence.
Right.
And I wish we can even take control of the debates, the presidential debates, say that we are the people who are going to control the debate this time. We are the people, because we want to see the right person, and this person will sell them to the world. But what has happened is that the church, I don't know whether we've already sold ourselves. We've already sold our souls to the highest bidder. Yes.
Rev, and I can see your sadness.
Yes.
I mean, you express it very deeply. This time, we are going to see a lot of things.
Okay.
And some of those things is even divisions within the church, within the setup of the church. I'll give you a very good example. Every time a minister in church supports a candidate, that does something to the other Christian. Because I don't know any church that has all UDA members or all Azimio, members. Definitely there's one or two. And politics touches the core of people in a way or the other. How are we supposed to behave as clergy and pastors and ministers in church during this time?
Okay. when we talk about the church and elections, you
Yeah.
know, we must look at the church and other things.
Uh-huh.
You get, so that we don't bring a lot of hope for the church to be doing a lot of things in the elections, whereas in other areas it's not. There's
it's
not
happening.
much to say.
Right.
Well, I must say there are different layers of the church. I can tell you, Brother Diema, there are people in this country. If you go to Gong Hills, you know, in that freezy place,
Yes.
who pray and sleep there because they have a
Right.
burden for this country.
Right.
No politician has talked to them, but the Spirit of God has moved them.
Right.
And they're there. It's not for anyone to see. You only see them if you're hiking. And the breeze is really strong there.
Yeah.
Other people just have a burden for this country. They have their own burdens. They are lowly in other ways, but they have a real burden for the nation.
Yeah.
And I must say that that burden and those people who are authentic in that way, I would say they have really helped this nation in ways that, leave alone, you know, the reverends who come and sit on your show and talk, you know. But there's another layer
Yes.
of Kenyans who have not been told by the reverend. They've just been inspired by the Holy Spirit to pray for this country.
Right.
Now, that layer of Kenyans, to me, when it comes to elections, those are the people.
Wow.
Those are the people.
That's true.
Now, that's that layer. There's also another layer now of the church, the people, the church leaders who want to associate, you know, with the persons who are popular. It doesn't matter who they are. As long as it's the top 2, top 3, they want to associate. In other words, they're impressed.
Right.
You know, and I'm telling you, when a priest is impressed by a politician,
Oh my.
disaster is about to happen.
Yes.
Right.
You know, because you begin now to hang around them, and you begin to be convinced by them, and before
Yes.
long you become part of that particular clique,
Right.
because you're impressed. You know, we're looking for people who are not impressed, like, you know, Prophet Nathan, who would tell King David, you know, you are the man. You know, all those things you've talked about,
Yes.
that should be done, you are the man who should. You're not impressed.
Right.
You're not impressed. And I think that the majority now of pastoral leaders are in that place,
category.
where they can easily be impressed by the popular politician, especially when the politician shows interest in them. You know, of course, we know the interest is hypocritical.
Right.
It is transactional, rather.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
Then there is another category
Uh-huh.
of pastors, like Desmond Tutu, the late, who are transcendent.
Right.
They speak the language of the people. They don't talk Azimio. They don't talk UDA. They don't talk OKA.
Yes.
They don't talk this, you know. They are aware,
Right.
but they are transcendent. They speak the language of the people.
Yes.
Desmond Tutu, the late,
Right.
is such a person
Right.
who is transcendent. He's a minister, you know, of the Anglican Church, you know. But that is not what we knew him for.
Right.
We knew him for championing for the people, and not just the people who are in particular the lowly. You know, when you think about his purple robe, you think about him standing, you know, in the public square, you know, and you know, just being out there.
Yeah.
So when coming to this election now, if you ask me, what we need are two people, two kinds of priests.
All right.
The ones in Gong Hills,
Yes.
praying in that
for the
wind
nation.
for
Yes.
the nation,
Yes.
and the transcendent ones,
Wow.
the ones who speak. They don't see the politician.
Right.
They see the people.
Right.
They see the people. Because the kingdom come that we talk about comes to bring abundance, especially to the lowly. You know, so unless now, and you know these pastors, the pastors we're talking about, even the ones who are impressed, they have a capacity to be transcendent. They have a capacity. They just need to invoke it. It's very sacrificial.
Right.
Very sacrificial, but they just need to invoke it. But we need those pastors who are transcendent and those other Christians who are interceding by inspiration of the Spirit.
Wow.
Now, those can make a big difference. And even politicians are afraid of such.
That's
Yes,
true.
yes.
They will be afraid of such.
Right.
Afraid of such.
I like that.
Yeah. And if a politician is coming to a priest and they have no reverence, then check your priesthood.
There's a problem.
Yeah, if they cannot revere that position,
Yeah.
then there's a problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
Impressed.
Political journey is a very brutal and fast-paced journey. So you need a person who will be telling you, at this level, we need you to stop.
Mhm.
At this level, we want you to start. At this level, we want you to do 1, 2, 3. And that person cannot be a pastor who is inspired by a politician.
Wow.
You understand?
If
Can
the
only-
politician inspires you,
Yes.
you follow them.
Yes. So
Very-
there is no way you are going to tell this politician, now is the time for you to stop, or now
Yeah.
is the time for you to start.
You cannot.
If you, we actually have gotten to a point that some pastors, their message are geared towards certain candidates.
Wow.
That we're going to vote, we're going to do 1, 2, 3 because of 1, 2, 3. The Lord has spoken. I don't know.
And unfortunately, some of them are very confident, and they will tell you, the Lord has spoken. This candidate they will never get to where they want to get to.
Let me tell you, Pastor, I was calling you Pastor.
Yes.
I'll not retract that because you do that in your own way.
Uh-huh.
You should also be able to separate
Right.
when the man is speaking and the priest is speaking.
Mm.
You know, you should be able to discern and know this is the man speaking, his wishes,
Right.
you know, or his price, depending, you know.
Yeah.
But you should also separate when the priest is speaking.
Please help us, Rev. And just on that matter of being able to, of course, you are a voter, and there's someone you're going to vote for,
Yeah.
and that's your preference. You have your own way of making that decision and judgment. So where does this person need to draw the line, the minister, between being a priest, where to share certain things, and where not to share certain things?
You see, your public identity is a priest.
I like it. Your public identity
Yes, is a priest.
is a
The
priest.
image, yes.
We all know you'll cast a vote somewhere,
Yeah.
hoping that the priest in you has informed the person.
Right.
You know, but the public, what people know you as
Oh, yes.
is a priest.
Yeah.
And so we should hear a lot of priests. And the priest is inspiration.
Right.
You know, and priest is scriptures.
Yeah.
And the priest is speaking for the people. The priest is calling out the politician
Right.
and saying that is wrong.
Yes.
You know, you could have been passionate and all that, but bringing in people's parents and mothers is wrong. You know,
Yes.
people may have laughed and all that, but that was wrong. You wounded a woman somewhere. You wounded a woman somewhere. That one person was wounded, and you wounded them directly knowing. You know, so the priest is that. You know, the priest has particular dimensions that you also know that this is from the Lord. You know, but then behind the scenes, as a voter, you know who stands for the principles
Right.
that inform you. But it's very important for us as priests to be conscious. You know, don't bring out the man in public.
Right.
You know, and if you want to bring out the man in public, say so. You know, even Paul at some point will say, "This is not the Lord."
Yes. It
You
is
know,
me saying
yeah,
this.
just
This
say
is
that.
me.
Say,
Yes.
By the way, this is not the
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
You know, this
Yes.
is me.
Yes.
Yeah.
But most of the time, that is the dominant thing
Right,
we hear. You know,
right.
but they don't say it. You know, but I would say that the priest knows. Their conscience tells them
Right.
when they're on the priestly road and when they're on the transactional road.
Right.
They know.
We want to take this to the next level.
Yes.
Just before we take a break, Mheshimiwa.
Yes.
Allow us to call you Mheshimiwa. As an aspirant, you have a major role to play. And for you, especially as a Christian aspirant, who has morals?
Yes.
What is that one thing, as you go out there to seek votes, that you need to consider as having been,
Yes.
blessed by the Lord for you to deliver, as you do whatever you're doing, and putting yourself in a situation where it's brutal and everyone is
Yes.
throwing all
Yes.
kinds of words here and there?
When I was starting the journey, I felt that I needed to join a political party. So I took a lot of time to study both sides. Let me just say both sides.
Both sides.
And I studied them to the detail. I am not a person who will be asked what is bottom up and they will not be able to answer because I was able to study both sides.
What's the other side?
The
You
other
mentioned
side
one.
is the Azimio, the reggae side. The issue with our politics
Yes.
is that we are only out there to promise. And as a Christian, I do not believe in promises, just promising for the sake of promising.
Yes.
So it is very difficult for us who are in that political arena and as Christians, because you do not know which side to take, because if you go to this side, they are promising this and you know they cannot be able to deliver that. This other side is promising this and you know they cannot be able to deliver that. And our voter is not educated enough to be able to vote for an independent candidate. So you are torn in between. I was telling someone that I've been complaining for the last 15 years, saying in my constituency, we have elected someone for more than 15 years, and this person is not delivering. I think in Kuresoi North, the whole constituency, we do not have an inch of tarmac road. And there has been an MP from independent to where we are today. So it has only been used to promise people that this is what we are going to do after every election. So as a Christian, when I'm going out, first of all, I have to consider that I am saved. So everything I will tell the people, number one is to offer them with the hope. Make sure that they have the hope for tomorrow. But number two, that every other word that I will tell these people must be truthful and must be something that I believe in.
Now, that's a very good point. And when we come back, I want us to discuss that, and Rev, you will just weigh in this conversation. The man, remember the priest and the man? The man and the men out there tell you, truth? Do you think you will actually be able to make it telling people the truth in this constituency?
Yes.
You need to be like so and so. He will, whip our emotions.
Yes.
And tell us some people love hearing some of those other things. So we want to get a balance. How do you then make that a reality where we are right now so that you actually become a member of parliament as we keep encouraging others who are doing the right thing to do, keep doing right. All right, so we come back after a short while. We take a short break. This is Sunday Best. We are talking about politics, generally the state of our nation, and this is more, skewed towards believers, Christians. What is our role at this time? For the clergy, for you who's a voter, and even for those who are aspirants, all right? We are the Cascadia apartments, right? Here are the Two Rivers Mall. Check it out. We come back in a short while. Don't go too far.